Senate too. So you don't have to worry about one, even if they take the House, no impeachment will ever work because we got the Senate. Every judicial nomination, for the most part, will get passed through. Every cabinet nomination will go through. There won't be any stonewalling or gridlock in the Senate, which will be really, really productive. It'll be interesting to see who the Senate leader will be. I know John Barrasso is in the running, John Thune, John Cornyn, the three Johns, someone like Rick Scott, Josh Hawley, Mike Lee. We'll see who the Republicans in the Senate end up choosing, but we've got some really strong leaders there in the Senate. And we're minutes away from Donald Trump taking the stage, minutes away.
So we are live, folks, and it looks like they are calling it. Let me get I just gotta get the Telegram going here. 1 second, folks. But for those of us who are already live or are watching us on Rumble and other platforms, it looks like Trump's got 277 and Kamala's at 226. It's being called, so it's official. It's over. It is over. It is game, set, match, checkmate. No, 5D checkmate.
Moment we've all been waiting for.
Galactic checkmate, if you will.
So is the moment we've all been
oh my God, it's been a long freaking war, but we made it.
hard to describe, but the American people just feel so energized.
Beautiful time to be alive.
Well, the real work begins now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This is when the hard work the real work actually begins. The fight was just so that we could do the hard work to take back our power and control of our futures again, man. That involves doing the work, and that's what it means to have freedom. The minute we let go of that power or ability to choose for ourselves and we delegate that to a higher authority, is the minute we run the risk of falling back into tyranny.
You can see how the Democrats
when Benjamin Franklin
voters over and over
was asked,
Trump has never ever done that.
What have you given us?
Have ever attacked Democrat voters? They have attacked.
He said, a republic, madam, if you can keep it.
Trump now, as the leader of the free world,
and
our commander in chief, our 47th president, is going to bring together
what we have done in this.
I forgot to change the description shit, dude, on the fucking live. Oh God, I gotta freaking stop it and then restart it. Give me a second.
Even if you didn't vote for me, I'm still going to be your.
No, I'm not even going to freaking do that. I'm going to change it post live.
He is going to bring together everyone in this country united.
But this
love America
is
again, bring back patriotism.
The beginning of a new era, because understand,
we're going to celebrate
half of the country just feels like there's been a huge disaster
coming up. I'm really excited that he gets to be a part of that celebration. You know him; he's going to pull out all the stops for this country. And something that we haven't really been talking about, but since we've got so much airtime,
come on camera.
The new Air Force One will be coming into rotation next year.
Changed the whole
Trump helped design
makeup
the new Air Force One
of America.
Remember,
because
what's going to basically give
what
Boeing
is coming now
for this plane, and he said,
"Is
we got to save some of the taxpayers' money with this plane."
We who accomplished this, because there were many of us that worked
got the plane
avidly
go down a couple
to see this
$billion,
happen.
master negotiator,
and
Donald
those
Trump
who
will be able to fly
opposed
on
us
the new Air Force
believed
One
that
plane
we were instituting some kind of Nazi.
You want to pause the or turn it down on the volume on that so we can hear you, because it's over. It's too loud over you. It's hard to understand you.
But yeah, we got the inauguration too. I mean, so we celebrate today.
That's better. You can turn it up a little bit more, but just go ahead and speak normally like you were. Just it was too loud for a minute there. I couldn't understand what you were saying. Audience probably had issues too, but there, that's good. Perfect.
You've got.
So this is a historic moment. We've just changed presidents. Now that's not going to actually happen until January.
I mean,
but the decision is made
now,
and
I mean it's going to be gangbusters.
There's a whole half of the country almost that just doesn't believe in what we've just accomplished. Those that do believe in the person, the people, the team that has just been elected to change our country. And
this is where we're at. America is a MAGA country.
We'll need to prove ourselves. We'll need to win them over. And that's it's not going to be something that happens overnight, because there's been so much disharmony sown.
Here we are.
in this election
Proudly
that people are going to have a hard time believing
white letters,
that
Make America Great
good
Again
things are coming.
shirt to the
You know, these people who believe that this is a huge disaster are going to think
year.
their life is over. They're, you know, this is, I mean, we've got people out there that are just contemplating leaving the US. They're contemplating fleeing for the hills. You know, there's, it's a disaster for a large portion of America.
Yep. Anyone is sleeping tonight.
And
I'm going to check my ring camera.
this
to
is a
make sure my
time
Virginia
when those of us
is,
that have
still
built
standing.
this
'Cause I'm the only one in
movement
the neighborhood with a Trump sign.
need to
Not just one, I had two Trump signs.
cultivate
The only one.
unity
Virginia,
and
right?
cultivate
Then we
harmony
got the place in
and
Florida.
cultivate
You got
peace
let's
and
see.
cultivate
That's
understanding.
been- Got a MAGA sign.
And I think
Trump
that's
country.
probably what we're likely to hear from our president-elect when he speaks in a
The
few
country was
months.
gonna go when Florida went
Because-
for Trump in double digits.
Because that's
Miami-Dade
who he
went for
really
Trump in double
is.
digits.
And the people
Maria
that
Salazar,
are
Congresswoman from
unaware
area,
of that
she
are
wrote
unaware of that
big point.
because
You would think
we've
she
had
was
a
living in,
media
like,
blitz
Central Florida with
for
those numbers. No,
years
she's in Miami-Dade.
against Donald Trump. Now,
You're seeing
remember,
resounding victories,
before
not
the
just
media blitz
for
against
President
Donald Trump,
You're seeing
he was
resounding
the
victories in
darling of
Senate,
a great
in
many
races.
people
We're
who
still
now
close to calling
have
for
stood up
some
against
races
him.
in
I mean,
Wisconsin,
he,
Michigan,
you know, he went
Pennsylvania.
on
You've
The
been tracking
View
that a little
and
bit better than
Whoopi
me.
Goldberg leaned over to kiss him and hug him and the whole gang, all of them went into for hugs and were so happy to have him. And that was before he became political candidate Donald Trump, who won the presidency and began to get all of this pushback and all of this resistance. And
It's now 2:14 a.m.
what I think people have not understood in America is that they've been exposed to a media that was controlled from outside, and that the powers in the White House had everything to do with what they were hearing and seeing in all of their media that they've been watching. And but all of that media said with one voice,
You know, there's a term for that. You know, for our audience that doesn't know, that's called predictive programming, folks.
predictive programming. And they intentionally set out to shape the minds of the listeners
Team no sleep.
to hate Donald Trump. And so these people are very serious about this hatred that they have for this person that is not the one that they know at all. Because those of us that came around to another point of view and said, well, wait, I really want to know for myself, and started to watch and listen and learn about who he really was and what he really had to say, we started to see, wait, it doesn't match up.
Can I show you what I just avoided, folks? And in my audience too, I really don't care. I had this in my back pocket, and thank God it just melted. But thank God it's not open. It would have been a mess. And these are my brand new jeans I have on right now too. I just bought them from Ross like the other day. I'm like, I would hate to
A
fucking ruin
chocolate
these.
bar.
Because I'm always spilling shit on my new clothes all the time, dude. And I just literally found this in my back pocket, totally melted, but not open. Thank God. It's the second time it's happened today.
Moving forward. Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Go ahead. I'm gonna go have a cigarette, but go ahead. Continue, my friend. I'll be back.
Morning of November 6th now.
So I want to extend a hand of love and friendship
The
to
American
all of
media,
those that are
the morning
disappointed in
shows
the
of the
outcome. And I want to let you know
Brianna Keeler
that I
and
I
John
stand
Burns
with
of the
you
world
in
are going
wanting
wake up,
to
if they're not already
hold to account
awake.
the new regime
And
that's coming into
Clemson
office, because it is up to us to hold to account
and
our
the
government.
cameras,
And
and look the American people in the eye.
that's really
And either take
what
responsibility
has brought this about, is our government has been unaccountable to the people.
ridiculous
Because the people of
liars,
America didn't want,
The
they didn't
View,
want
Alyssa Fairley,
unvetted, they didn't want a bunch of criminals moving in to their neighborhoods. And they didn't mind people from different countries,
at the
nor do I, nor does anyone really that I know that was part of the Maha or MAGA movements. They're not
Kelly
against people from other countries at all. But what they do want is a vetting process that allows us all to feel safe when we walk in our streets. And that was short-circuited by the party that was in power. And they flooded our nation without vetting people. And we got a large number, huge numbers of criminals, because other countries knew they could send anybody they wanted and they wouldn't be bothered. And those people were caught and released over and over and over. And I know what I'm talking about. I know people on the police force who said, I see the same immigrants that are undocumented immigrants that come into the police station doing crime after crime, and the police arrest them, and then they're booked and they spend a night in jail, and then they're released by the judges. And this was policy handed down from the top. And that's why it kept happening, and why the same people were allowed to be set free on the streets of America and go and commit crimes over and over. And that's why we saw violence and murders and armed gangs that moved into places and took them over. And we have been told that there's nothing to that, oh no, that's not what happened. But I also know from people very close to me that these things did happen, and that this was the truth, and that the truth was actually suppressed for months before it ever came out in Aurora, Colorado. And those of us who've done the research and the study know that our own government has been involved in weather manipulation. And of course, that sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, because none of the mainstream media has told you that, because it's against the will of those who own the mainstream media. These are huge multinational corporate interests that have no interest in defending the American people, because that's not what their interest is. It's power and money. And they use that power and money in a way that they're not only manipulating weather to achieve their ends, they're manipulating politics to achieve their ends. And some of you also think, well, they manipulate both sides. Well, that's absolutely true. But what has happened is a group of outsiders got together. And these are people from all walks of life. These are people from not only both sides of the aisle, but libertarians, people from all over. People that didn't have a home in American politics before, and people that moved from one side to the other because they said, wait, my own side has done a 180. They've completely changed. They're standing for things that I don't stand for. They're standing for things that I don't believe in. And I can't in good conscience continue to remain allied with those that honestly in my heart and in my own thinking, I don't align with, and I don't believe in what they're doing. And so we saw the very curious and strange reality that a Kennedy joined with Donald Trump. This is one of the weirdest things that ever happened in politics, because you're talking about a Democrat family that goes back to when I was a little baby, when I was a little child, and I watched our president get killed on television. And over the years, I've seen the videotapes of that over and over and over. And
no one's left the arena.
It was one of the most heartbreaking moments in American history, because people really believed in that Democrat that was our president. And in those days, America was one of the healthiest nations on earth. There was no chronic disease epidemic. There were no children that ever got the average doctor would see a childhood case of diabetes perhaps once in their career. And there was virtually no, there wasn't any big pharma, because pharma wasn't that big. People ate foods that were healthy. And those days really have been gone for many years, because in America, there's over 1,000 chemicals that are not even permitted. In Europe, the whole European Union, you can't find 1,000 chemicals that are permitted to be put in our foods. Why? Because they're poisons. We've got toxins surrounding us in this country because our own government agencies that are meant to oversee our food production, our medicines, are not doing their job. Why? Because those people are in the pockets of the companies that promote those products, and it's cheaper, it's easier. You can put these poisons in food and it will last forever on a shelf. And if no one's going to tell you no, because you've already bought those agencies, you bought those politicians that are looking after those agencies, then all of a sudden now you've got a whole toxic food supply that you can't find anywhere in the world. So what happened to American health? Well, more than 70% of our young men and women can't qualify to be in the military any longer because they can't pass the physical, because they have too many diseases, too much obesity, too many illnesses. It's a tragedy that has been unfolding right before all of our eyes. And the only reason we haven't seen it is because the same big money interests have bought up all of the media in our country. So the only media that tells the truth now is online media. And you've been told not to listen to those. You've been told that TikTok is a danger to your
TikTok is bad. Oh, bad. TikTok
You've been
bad.
told
X
that-
bad.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Yeah,
It's an
he makes
over-
a great point. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
And so you're not watching these sources where the news is unregulated, which it should be because we have free speech in this country. But I'm going to shut up now because we've got the president and his family and his team coming out on stage. Let's see.
Oh, nice. Perfect timing, too. I just got back from my cigarette. Brilliant. All right.
God bless the USA. From
Hey, we can't hear it. You got to share your sound, dude. Nobody can hear it. It's all the audio is off, bro. I just realized that. Sorry. I was trying to put my headphones back in their cases. Go ahead. You share your audio on the screen share, and you should be fine. Then you can mute yourself again.
Can you hear it now?
thank you very much. Wow.
Yeah, we can hear it. I can hear it now. Yeah, I can hear it. Yep, I got it. Cool, perfect. Thank you. And I know our audience thanks you too.
Thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places. Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. We are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Winning the popular vote was very nice, very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races. And I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them. And sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives. And I want to thank Mike Johnson. I think he's doing a terrific job, terrific job. I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady. Who has the #1 best-selling book in the country. Can you believe that? No, she's done a great job, works very hard to help people. So I just want to thank her, but I want to thank my whole family, my amazing children, and they are amazing children. And we all think our children are. Everybody here thinks their children are amazing, but that's a good thing when you think they are. But Don, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany, Barron, Laura, Jared, Kimberly, Michael, thank you all. What a help. What a great. My father-in-law, Victor, is tremendous, and we miss very much Melania's mother, Amalia. We miss Amalia, don't we, huh? She would be very happy right now, standing on this stage. She'd be so proud. She was a great woman, that one. Beautiful inside and out. She was a great woman. I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, J.D. Vance. And his absolutely remarkable and beautiful wife, Usha Vance. And he's a feisty guy, isn't he? You know, I've said, go into the enemy camp. And you know, the enemy camp is certain networks. And a lot of people don't like to, sir, do I have to do that? He just goes, okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC? He'll say, all right, thank you very much. He actually looks like he's like the only guy I've ever seen. He really looks forward to it. And then he just goes in and absolutely obliterates them. Say a couple of words. Sir.
Wow. Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey. I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. And I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America. And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Thank you very much. He's turned out to be a good choice. I took a little heat at the beginning, but he was, I knew the brain was a good one, about as good as it gets. And we love the family, and we're going to have a great 4 years, and we're going to turn our country around, make it something very special. It lost that little thing called special. We have to make it so. We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast. We're going to have to seal up those borders, and we're going to have to let people come into our country. We want people to come back in, but we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. Let me also express my tremendous appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come here. Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden, we call her the Ice Maiden. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background. Come here, say something.
This wasn't expected, but I just want to thank, obviously, President Trump for this journey. It was a great one, and he's a hell of a candidate. He's going to be a hell of a great 47th president. And this team that we had, the best team, and of course, even my boss, Susie Wiles, the best. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Susie. Look at this, she's shot. I've never seen her be shot before. Susie. They're great. Everybody up here is great. Everybody up here is very special. But the Trump, who did you say? Oh, let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. No, he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And, but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I told the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And that very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again. So I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold. And especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh, no. And I said, do me a favor. Do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space age movie or something. I put the phone down, bad part. I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding. But this spaceship came down, and I saw those engines firing, and it looked like it was over. It was going to smash. And then I saw the fire pour out from the left side, and it put it straight. And it came down so gently, and then it wrapped those arms around it, and it held it. And just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And I called Elon. I said, Elon, was that you? He said, yes, it was. I said, who else can do that? Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No. Can the United States do it other than you? No, nobody can do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon. That's great. And you know, when we had the tragic Hurricane Helene, and it hit, in particular, hit North Carolina, they were really devastated. The water, this was a big water, as big as we've ever seen, water hurricane. It built lakes out of nothing. Fields became lakes, and the danger was unbelievable. And the people from North Carolina came to me and they said, would it be possible, at all possible, for you to speak to Elon Musk? We need Starlink. I said, what's Starlink? It's a form of communication. So I called Elon, and I'll tell you what, he had, and it was very dangerous. People would die. They had no communication. All the wires were down. I called Elon Musk. I said, Elon, you have something called Starlink. Is that right? Yes, I do. What the hell is it? He said, it's a communication system that's very good. I said, Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it? He had that there so fast. It was incredible. So And it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character. He's a special guy. He's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. You know, we have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's a fantastic golfer, slightly longer than me. It's about a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace. What happened to Bryson? Where is he? Bryson. Oh, he was shot. He's hitting balls. Oh, he's on the way. He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He's got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we also have a man, Dana White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC and came to me. Do you mind if I use your? Nobody wanted to give him a rinse because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough. And I helped him out a little bit, and I went and they said, this is the roughest sport I've ever seen, but I began to like it and he loved it, and nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters and they really go at it. And it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words because people love to hear from him.
Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hardworking man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nell boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, also with the boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
That is a piece of work. No, he's really an amazing guy. But most of all, I want to thank the millions of hardworking Americans across the nation who have always been the heart and soul of this really great movement. We've been through so much together, and today you showed up in record numbers to deliver a victory like really, I probably like no other. This was something special, and we're gonna pay you back. We're gonna do the best job. We're gonna turn it around. It's got to be turned around. It's got to be turned around fast, and we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do it in every way, with so many ways, but we're gonna do it in every way. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country. So I just want to say that on behalf of this great group of people, these are hardworking people. These are fantastic people. And we can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, Go have a good time, Bobby. We're gonna be paying down debt. We're gonna be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is gonna be able to do it. China doesn't have what we have. Nobody has what we have. But we have the greatest people also. Maybe that's the most important thing. His campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never seen anything like it in all of American history. They've never seen it. Young and old, men and women, rural and urban. And we had them all helping us tonight. When you think, I mean, I was looking at it, I was watching it. They had some great analysis of the people that voted for us. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. We want to have borders. We want to have security. We want to have things be good, safe. We want great education. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally, we don't have to use it. You know, we had no wars, 4 years, we had no wars, except we defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS in record time, but we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. But this is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom. Together, we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny, and we're going to achieve the most incredible future for our people. Yesterday, as I stood at my last stop on the campaign trail, I'll never be doing a rally again. Can you believe it? I think we've done 900 rallies approximately from them. Can you imagine? 901 something, a lot of rallies. And it was sad. Everybody was sad. Many people, I said, this is our last rally. But now we're going on to something that's far more important, because the rallies were used for us to be put in this position where we can really help our country. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make our country better than it ever has been. And I said that many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission. The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no job like this. This is the most important job in the world. Just as I did in my first term, we had a great first term, a great first term. I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people. We will make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again. And I'm asking every citizen all across our land to join me in this noble and righteous endeavor. That's what it is. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. We have to try. And it's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that. I saw that in the first term when we became more and more successful. People started coming together. Success is going to bring us together, and we are going to start by all putting America first. We have to put our country first for at least a period of time. We have to fix it, because together we can truly make America great again for all Americans. So I want to just tell you what a great honor this is. I want to thank you. I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
When you're short on your dough, you can say, I'll show you why.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our 47th president of the United States, President-elect Donald Trump, has won the 2024 election. And the face of America in the world has been changed tonight.
I want to wrap this up around midnight, so in about 6 minutes. Now that I just wanted to bring this news to our viewers, of course, now we had to do a live on this. Dude, how could we not? Dude, we're supposed to be taken seriously as a news organization, you know. But I do got stuff I got to get to, and it's late. So go ahead, final thoughts. I mean, I'm just like, wow. I'm so relieved, man. I was out there in the patio having a cigarette when I found out. I was like, yeah, baby. And I went, ooh, fucking real out. You didn't give a fuck, man. Fucking just fucking did it, dude. That's like, hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
man,
there's a whole there's more than half of America apparently that is rejoicing tonight because they got what they voted for.
What a beautiful time to be alive, man. What an amazing time to be alive.
It truly is. And I'll tell you what, you and I feel are among those who are probably rejoicing more than most.
Yeah, dude, I swear the bullshit we've had to go through for fucking all this to get to this point where like all the bullshit we've had to deal with, dude, all the attacks and fucking all the emotional attacks, all the freaking psychological attacks. You motherfuckers don't realize, dude, I fended off the FBI, fucking Blackwater CIA motherfuckers trying to come at me, dude. And that's not fucking easy, dude. That is not an easy thing to fend off and come out alive out of. Fuck. I should be 6 feet under 10 times over by now. I mean, shit.
As I said, both you and I, because we're willing to speak out, because we've been standing up and speaking out about the truth for many years, each of us, we know how much resistance there is out there to people who want to speak the truth. Just tell the truth to people. If you want to tell the truth, then you have been facing unprecedented oppression of that right that is God-given by the government of the United States of America. And it is top to bottom, it seemed to many of us that there's this oppression of free speech. And of course, if you look around, you don't have to look very far. If X hadn't been bought by Elon Musk and it then uncovered what they had been doing.
They are a company that inherited a previous company's problem or created a problem, and then they're trying to fix it. That's all happened.
It was all of these platforms. And then because people were telling the truth on TikTok, they said, we've got to censor TikTok. We've got to get them off the air. And it wasn't about protecting the kids. It was about protecting the control of the media and the minds of the American people. And I say that having been one of those people that was speaking out, telling the truth about corruption in the court system, which is a radio program that I've done with a friend of mine and some other friends of mine for 7 years now, and 8 years now. and that 8 years, we watched how gradually, the company that we were using to do that show was not working. It wouldn't work. We'd try to do a show and we wouldn't be able to get on the air. And then we'd do a show and there'd be interference with it. There'd be bad electronic noise in the show. We couldn't do the show. And then we'd try to get on the air. We couldn't get on the air. And after that happened numerous times, we began to realize this is something that is being orchestrated. And I don't know what level it's being orchestrated at, if it was just truly technical difficulties at that company, or if it was something more sinister, such as the censoring of free speech in America. But then we saw the censoring of all of those who spoke out when the COVID debacle happened, and people who wanted to tell the truth to the American people. This is something that there's workable treatments for. You can treat this at home with very inexpensive medicines. Those voices were all suppressed. Turns out they were telling the truth, but they were deplatformed, they were depunked, they were fact-checked out of existence. I myself was booted off or shadow banned on several social media platforms because I was reposting good, solid, real scientific information. And I saw this is a pattern of abuse on those who are just trying to be truthful with the people. And so this is something that Stephen and I share, and many, many others. I mean, we're not the only ones by far, but so this is something that is changing now.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see lawsuits against some of the.
No, we're going to see. I think we're going to see more than that. I think we're going to see actual criminal justice occur in our, the way it was intended to be carried out in a lawful and justified manner, not this hijacked version. Of course, we previously had, but I really think we're going to see criminal convictions of people in high power that are going to get appropriate sentences for their crimes, that are going to be held to the same account that those people are expected to be held to.
Right.
So
right.
I know that we're going to have some form. We're going to have actual justice again, at least in some form. It will be tempered. It will be tempered because that's a civilization or civilized society does. Right.
Right. Justice, but the justice system has been weaponized against the American people and against politicians that wanted to tell the truth, against whistleblowers that tried to tell the truth.
Yep.
It has been weaponized against us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not just saying that to say it. We've been victims of this weaponization by our own government because of our like for me, because I'm a hacker and I know too much and I have too much, I can get into too much. They're scared of me. They're afraid of me because I know more than they do about their own systems, and that terrifies the fuck out of them. But because of that, they weaponized the justice system to come after folks like me.
And
I mean, shit, I was apparently running circles around the FBI for fuck's sake during my case. I had no idea.
I started not trusting the major media and not trusting what I was hearing 40 years ago when events happened in my own life to make it clear to me that there was corruption going on. And when I began to see it, I started looking and I searched and searched and searched. I bought books that were hard to find. I went to all the websites that they said, don't go to this one. I went to go see, well, why not? What are they trying to hide? And what they're trying to hide is the truth. We've seen persecution of whistleblowers all over the world, major whistleblowers. We've seen people in prison for telling the truth. We've seen people in prison for standing up and saying, wait a minute, there's been a problem with this election and we don't believe in these results. And we want to go talk to our legislators about it. And then we see them in jail for months for that.
Robin, I want to second thought. On second thought, I don't want to wrap it up just yet. I want to try something. I want to try because I just got a brand new projector for the whole house. We converted the office. It's the office slash PC room for my mom / now home movie theater in there. And I want to mirror the Zoom to the projector, and because I can say, check this out. Okay. I just got these they're prescription sunglasses, and they're the closest to my prescription that you can get by chance, right? That my neighbor threw these because my other glasses broke and I can't fix them, right? So in order to see, do these actually fucking work? But I have to be seeing something at a distance to see it legibly. If I'm too close to like the computer screen right now, I can't. It's blurry. But in the projector room, I'm far enough away I can put this on and see just fine. So I want to try mirroring this real quick before we wrap up the live. I think our audience will appreciate that. I'll send third-party video from one of my other cameras as I'm doing it later on in an upload, just for fun. So can we do that for give you like 5-10 minutes to do that real quick before we wrap it up?
No problem. Do you want me
Awesome.
to?
Go ahead. No. Take your time, finish your thought, and then let me know when you're done, and we'll do that. I'm just going trying to set it up here in the meantime. Go ahead,
Well,
continue.
you go ahead and set it up, and I'll talk to our listeners.
Sweetness sounds good to me. All right, cool. I'll be back. Wish me luck.
Good luck, buddy. You got this. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and lovers all, I just want to say I'm really grateful that you're tuned in, and I appreciate the fact that it's late. And if you have to tune out, that's great. Go ahead, go right ahead. But if you stick with us, I have a few more things that I just want to cover, and it's just that the real work begins now. Donald Trump made a whole lot of promises. Says he's going to bring manufacturing jobs back to this country. Well, I remember when there were a lot of manufacturing jobs in this country. I remember North Carolina used to have a tremendous furniture industry, and much of that was sold out over the last 20 years by politicians who who said we need free trade agreements. And so they made these free trade agreements. And really what those free trade agreements did was take manufacturing jobs and hand them over because big corporate interests said, hey, we can hire people in another country much cheaper than Americans. We don't need to pay the Americans to work when we can get the labor done much more cheaply in a slave labor state like China. And so all of our manufacturing jobs, or a very large amount of them, were sent out of the country. And that's something that Trump looks at our country and he says, I realize that Americans are hurting because we don't build things anymore. And those jobs were valuable to the American people. And I want to restore that value to those to this country, to American people. I want you to be able to get good jobs that pay well, that you can raise a family on, that you can buy a house on. And I don't like what I'm seeing in the real estate industry, where house prices are soaring beyond the reach of the average American. This is something that is hurting all of us. And he's made promises about these things, that he's going to do all that he can to reverse these trends and to make housing prices, to make car prices, to make wages higher. He's promised all of those that I waited tables for years and I relied on tips. And he's promised that tips will no longer be taxed. He said that those of you who are working overtime, he said, you're not going to be taxed on your overtime anymore. We're not going to do that anymore. He said, we're going to bring back jobs. We're going to put money in your pockets. We want to be the party that does things for Americans that promote their interests. And he hasn't just said it. He stood up and he's looked hard, and he said also, I made some bad mistakes. He said, I made some bad mistakes. I got to be president and I didn't know what I was doing. He said, I didn't know how to be president. I'd never done that. So I got in there and they said, well, you got about 1,500 jobs that need filled in the next month or so. And he was surrounded by people that told him, so here's the people for you. You need to hire this guy for this, that guy for that guy for that. What he didn't realize was these were the big corporate lobbyists that wanted to put their own people in charge of the agencies that were that were responsible for regulating those industries. So the next thing you know, they're the next thing you know, we've got these agencies that are meant to regulate the food industry that are simply working for the food industry, that are meant to regulate medicines that are simply working for medicines, and that are meant to regulate the airwaves so that news is actually news and you actually get real information from your newscasters. And all of a sudden they're working for whoever pays the most. Well, it turns out that's the pharmaceutical industry. So you can't watch your MSNBC, your CNN, your NBC, your CBS. You can't watch them without listening to 8 minutes of pharmaceutical industry propaganda for every 45 minutes of television that you watch. And so now you've got these vast, powerful entities making huge amounts of money off of the American people. And the agencies that are supposed to regulate them are allowing them to get away with putting poisons, toxins into our food, putting poisons and toxins into our shampoo, into our toothpaste, into our water. And no one's stopping them because the agencies are bought off and owned by the people that they're supposed to be regulating. Well, he looked at that and he said, this is hurting people. And RFK Jr. was out there doing his thing, and he's saving the water in areas where it's badly polluted. He's saving indigenous peoples from mega corporations that are trying to take over their land and flood it, build big dams. He's saving mothers who came to him and said, "Listen, our family has been wounded and injured by products from pharmaceutical companies." And he was a man who stood up and looked at the evidence. And he's a very intelligent man. He looked hard, he looked deep, and he found that it was true. So he said, "All right, I'll help you. I'll do what I can to help you." And so he began to build organizations that would address these issues. And he has worked very hard for at least 40 years because I've sort of been following him that long. And he was doing what was best for the American people. You didn't hear about it unless you were indigenous peoples, or you were people that were involved in trying to get clean water, or you were a vaccine injured family member who had a vaccine injured child. And these injuries are so much more common now than they have ever been in the history of the world, because when I was a kid, I knew one person that had diabetes. And as an adult, I knew one more. And now, pre-diabetes or diabetes is one of the most common diagnoses you can find. Um, there's there's thousands and thousands of diseases that we're all subject to in America that don't exist in parts of the world where they don't have that kind of chemical overlay in their foods, in their soils, in their air, in their water. And so Trump looked at that and he said, "There's something wrong here." And he knew that Bobby Kennedy was someone who was doing something about it. And he called him up one day when he saw that Bobby Kennedy was subjected to the same kind of lawfare, warfare through the law, that Trump was being exposed to. He found that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party for a while were absolutely exercising everything they could to lock him up, to put him away, to manufacture false stories and false crimes that he was then accused of. And a lot of you believe that he's this terrible criminal, that he's done these awful things. But the truth is that it was lawfare against political opponents. And that's exactly what happened to Bobby Kennedy. He is a very noble spirit of a human being who has been doing right by you, the American people, for many years. And he was absolutely shut out of all the debates. He was absolutely shut out of all the mainstream media channels. And all that you could hear about him was how crazy he was, how and it was all manufactured lies because they didn't want him in the political process, because early polling results showed that at one time, if they had gone head to head with either Biden, who was the political candidate at that time for the Democrat Party, or Trump, he would have won against either one of them. And So they didn't want to let him on the stage, but the Republicans didn't exercise lawfare to keep him off. They didn't try to keep him off stages. They didn't push him down. The Democrats did. And that's just the fact of the matter. You can go research this for yourself. I'm not telling you anything you can't find out just with a quick search. Well, maybe it'll be a little longer search since Google is the main search engine, and it also has been controlled by these same big money interests so that you can't really find the truth because now they have social media algorithms that make misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, which is true information that is inconvenient to those who pull the strings, those who are in power. Illegal, unavailable, it suppresses that information. These people are shadow banned or outright banned. There's some of the finest minds in the world in the healing arts that were simply suppressed, that were simply not allowed on YouTube, not allowed on Facebook, not allowed on Twitter, not just banished from social media. And that's what happened to Robert Kennedy as well. So you haven't been allowed to listen to these voices. You haven't been allowed to consider them. Their thinking, their brilliant minds are something you haven't had access to because you've been controlled by the media that you were allowed to see. So it's not your fault if you don't know anything about these guys, if you don't know the truth about these guys, including Trump. If you don't know the truth about who he is, that's not your fault. That's the fault of the people that hid him from you and then filled your head with stories about him, half truths and untruths, and little bits of information that were true, but were just a tiny aspect of who he really is and what he's really about. So the fact that you have no idea is not something that you can be blamed for. The only thing that happened is that you trusted the wrong people and you trusted the wrong sources of information. And this is something that is changing even now as we speak. This is something that is changing because there's a new posse riding into town. There's these people, Elon Musk, who bought Twitter and said, I'm letting people tell the truth. I'm not going to suppress what people say anymore. Well, that's human values. That's we in our country, we defend the God-given right to speak your mind. Now, we don't have to defend the popular speech. Popular speech, you don't have to defend it. Everyone goes, oh, I like that. It's the speech that you don't really want to hear that needs defending by the Second Amendment. Or is it the First Amendment? First Amendment, free speech. Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Why would they make that the Second Amendment? It seems like what they're promoting is the ability to stand up to tyranny. And tyranny is not being able to listen to those who disagree with each other, one of which you might agree with and one of which you might not, or you might be undecided, but not being permitted to listen to them is controlling you, your mind, your thinking. And that is what has been happening on a widespread scale in this country for many, many years, more and more and more and more. And they thought they had such a stranglehold that they could put a bunch of Hollywood stars in front of you who would say, this is what you need to do. And you would go, oh, well, if that person says so, yes, I will. And put a bunch of propaganda in your head and say, you've got to hate this man because he's not a nice person. And you go, oh, okay, I hate him now. Because you heard it from 100 different sources. Everywhere you turn, you go on Google, well, I hate him. You go on any of the major TV networks, oh, hate him. You listen to the typical radio programs, oh, hate him. And then you're told, whatever you do, don't listen to these other sources Don't tune into these stations. Don't look at X. Don't look at TikTok. TikTok is bad. It's evil. And so you're convinced not to find out for yourself, but to accept what you've been told. And you do because no one told you different. No one's there to speak to you anymore. No one can get through the blockade that they've set up until Elon Musk bought X, bought Twitter and changed it to X. There really wasn't anything. And then the Chinese app TikTok was letting a lot of things get out, and that's both good and bad. But it was a much more freedom of expression kind of app. And that was terrifying to the people that are trying to control your mind. So they worked hard to try to suppress that. And they almost banished it from the United States of America. And there were steps taken. Looks like that may not happen now. But this was all a battle for your minds. And you were unaware that it was going on because your mind was already bought and paid for by powerful interests that decided what they wanted you to think and convinced you. And it has been the detriment to your health. It has been the detriment to your thinking. It has been a detriment to the education system in our country. It has been a detriment to your food supply. It has been detrimental to your economy. It has been detrimental to you in so many ways that your life is much worse off than it would have been had all these people butted out of your business and let you listen to and hear a diversity of opinions and make up your own mind. So this is something that has changed today. I believe one of the changes that we will see is that the legacy media, the big companies that have been manipulating your thinking by buying your mind with pharma dollars, I believe that we're going to see major changes. There have already been lawsuits filed against some of the legacy media that manipulated the news to try to make you believe something that was not true. And I think we're going to watch those lawsuits play out, and you may find that just by listening and paying attention, your own understanding is
It's
changed.
probably going to take me a little bit more time to get this up and going because I don't have the time to do it right now, but I need to do a little bit more research to get it up and running because something's not working right. But we'll do it another time on a live. I want to show everybody how it works.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. All right, guys. Final thoughts. I'm ready to wrap it up though for the night. What an amazing fucking victory, right?
Yeah, it has been a victory
man.
for free speech. It's been a victory for health in America. It's been a victory for Americans who might not realize it yet, but you're going to see a different kind of America, and I believe you're really going to like it. So I hope we can all get along and make
Can we all just get along?
just get along with each other, and you'll find that it's
It's
that
not
all
that
those
hard.
people that you
Really
have been
not.
taught to hate aren't so hateful after all. And all those people that you have been taught not to trust, well, you've just been taught that. It's not that they're not trustworthy.
Exactly.
So you might learn that the truth of what I'm saying. And if you don't believe me now, that's okay. I understand.
You don't have to believe him. You don't
It's
have
a
to believe
big
me either. In
stretch.
fact, we
I
encourage
don't
you not
expect
to.
you to.
We
That's
encourage you
right.
to do your own
Don't
research and find out for
believe
yourself.
anything.
That's what we want people to do.
That's right. Don't believe anything I tell you or anyone else
That's
tells
the whole
you.
point, though. You
Do
folks, that's
your
what people
research and
forgot.
find out what the truth is. And now you'll have a chance because we smoked out the bad people.
Dude,
And
we did it. We pulled that shit off, didn't we, bro?
they're,
We
yeah,
tore that shit up.
they are about to be
Fucking
moved
great,
on.
dude. I'm so feel so happy right now. I'm so relieved.
And there's a lot more to come. The revelations will be coming in days and
Now's
weeks
when the real
ahead.
hard work comes. folks.
That's right.
This is when
They're
it
going
really
to be
gets tough.
astounding.
Because now we
Uh,
actually have to do the rebuilding.
That's right.
And
That's
they holding
absolutely
people
right.
to
And that
account.
is a big pull, man. That's a long, hard struggle. But I believe that we're up to it because this was a long, hard struggle to bring us to this point, and it made a whole lot of us strong enough.
Damn right it did.
And
Damn
up
fucking
to
right it did.
the institutional corruption that we all face, and we're going to defeat it.
Or die trying. Fuck it. You know, at least if we die trying, at least we've tried, right? And we can be like content in the fact that we gave it a shot.
Even if you and I die trying, won't even matter.
It won't. It will have inspired others to do the same.
Movement.
Yes.
Just like this movement is too big to rig.
Yes.
Movement that we are seeing in America is one that has
got it.
Too big.
100% accurate, my friend. 100%. Whew, man, beautiful. Go ahead, continue, and then we'll wrap it up. Just another couple thoughts. I want to get this wrapped up because I got to get some sleep and I got to get up and finish up a project tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
For those that may be watching live that I work with, I'm putting together the presentation tomorrow ASAP. So just stay tuned. I've just been a little behind on it because I had a lot going on, but it's coming soon.
All right, man. Good night. Good night, my friend.
I'll let you have the wrap up your final. I'll let you have the final thought, but I wanted to tell that to the audience, people, for a minute. But
all right,
go ahead,
just
continue.
Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned to this channel. Stay tuned to the world around you. Start thinking for yourself and paying close attention and question everything. Don't believe a word I'm saying, but don't believe a word that you hear on your television set, especially. And don't believe anything you hear.
Don't believe me. Don't believe him. Don't take my word for it. Don't take his word for it. Look at the information, decide for yourself, and make up your own mind, folks. That's all you got to do.
That's right.
That's all we ask.
And we'll be pulling for you, and we'll be working hard to do our best to bring you the truth everywhere we see it, and to break down the lies. So hope you'll join us.
Oh, I'm sure they all will. And now that, man, we've got through the war part. Now we got to do the rebuilding phase, right?
Yeah, that's
man,
right.
that was close, dude. We almost went into a hot civil war if shit had gone sideways, dude. And we would have probably ended up dead, shot in the back of the head by our own government, dude. That's how I felt about it. Just like, fuck this shit.
I mean,
if the bad guys win, we're gonna die.
Really extreme, but it's not, man. It's
not. It's really not.
It's cards right now, though. No one.
Yeah.
Because and as Luann just pointed out, we don't have anybody in charge right now. No one. Whoever is behind pulling the strings, that's who's in charge right now, and they must be in a panic.
Get in there and talk to people.
You bet. Yeah, they are. They're shaking in their boots, squirming in their fucking little panties and shit, fucking be acting like afraid like a motherfucker, right?
We live in interesting times, my friend.
Yeah, dude. I don't think they ever saw that one coming, did they? They never saw that one coming.
I think you're really shocked a lot.
It was so simple. It actually worked, and it was so under the radar. It actually fucking worked. They never saw it coming. That's just how it happened.
No,
that's how you have to play the game.
But I'm telling you, things are really, truly, gonna be great.
Oh, dude, trust me, folks. When he says that, he's not just saying that to say that, dude. I can speak from knowledge that I know for a fact and that I'm a part of. Trust me, 20 years from now, we're going to be out there amongst the stars. So just watch. Just watch.
Good night, my friend.
All right. Good night, folks. We're going to wrap it up. We wanted to bring that to you live as it unfolded and as we found out the results. And I'm glad you joined us, man. I'm so freaking relieved, dude. I was like just sitting there on the edge of my seat, like having a hard time focusing on work, on anything, just like because of the like, oh fuck, dude, if we lose, we're fucked. We're dead. We're dead. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, shit, I might not be alive a few months from now. by all accounts, I should be freaking just have been 6 feet under fucking 24 times over by now. Shit, all the shit that I've survived.
Well, there's
all right. Good night, everybody.
Force that moves in the affairs of men that is greater than all of us.
Tell me about it.
Hallelujah and amen.
God bless and good night, folks. We'll see you next time.